Okay, so I probably made one too many videos trying to predict when this Direct would be and exactly what was going to be shown at this Direct. We kept hearing rumors that it was coming, but we didn't know when. Well, it just happened. It finished about 3 hours ago from me filming this, and I've had some time to reflect, sit back, and see if I changed my mind on whether or not it was disappointing or really exciting. And I think I've kind of come to a middle point on those two things. I want to talk about everything that was announced at the Direct and overall how I felt about it. But I will say going into it, the reason why I didn't look too enthralled during my live reaction of it was because I went into it expecting the unexpected. That's what I kept saying about Nintendo leading up to this. You can't expect what they're gonna do anymore. They came out of nowhere with Nintendo Labo. They keep coming out of nowhere with their announcements and the games and the ports, and it felt like everything was just so crazy, and everything that happened, there was no way anyone could guess it. So going into a new Direct, I had this mindset of expect the unexpected. We're gonna see some crazy stuff from Nintendo because they just keep throwing curveballs. But then in this Direct, they threw an extremely straight ball. There was no unexpected. There was a couple of things that was like, oh, I didn't know that was happening, that's pretty cool, but there was nothing that was like, what? And I think that's kind of why I got let down. But then in reality, it was just a Direct updating us all on release dates of games that we already knew were coming, giving us more ports of games that are actually pretty cool to have that have been out for a while, and then one really big surprise announcement right at the end that really saved the day for most people. So as a whole, it was good. It gave us a lot of information. It was almost like that mini Direct we got with less surprises and 30 minutes long. It was more of an information blast. And I feel like that's great, and we needed a lot of that information, but they didn't touch on the information we actually needed. There is information we literally need. Not want, not expecting, need, and we didn't get it. And I think that is why I was disappointed. Things like the online service. I wouldn't be excited when I heard about that. It's not like, whoa, an online service. I know that it's there. I know that it's coming. I know that I have to pay for it. I want to know what it is. And we're in March right now. The Switch has been out for over a year, and they've been talking about this since the start. When are we getting it? What is it? What do I get with it? The whole thing is shrouded in mystery. You have games like Payday 2 not selling very well because of a main complaint being no in-game voice chat because the Switch can't handle it. Am I getting that on the online service? Nintendo, tell us. And it was things like that, which I'll get to at the end. Let's just start talking about everything we did get. We're gonna do this in order of everything that was announced, and I'm gonna try and blast through all of it really quick, because a lot of you most likely have seen it as well. So they touched on some 3DS stuff at the start. I'm really glad they did that. I saw some complaints, people saying, let it die already, let the Switch live, which again is an interesting turn of events. I've talked about it before, how when the Switch came out, so many people weren't on board with it, and they were saying, I'm not getting a Switch, I have a 3DS, please just continue 3DS support. And now that the Switch is doing so well and everyone's jumped on board, it's weird to see that shift of people saying, let it die already, I don't want to know. I think it's cool they're supporting the 3DS. The 3DS has a huge player base. Every household has a 3DS, it seems like. My household has a bunch of them. And Nintendo wants to keep supporting it, supporting the people that supported the product. It's one of the best-selling systems of all time. Of course they're going to continue it. The Wii U was cut off. The Wii U had a stamp put on it when it was done and shoved under the rug, and they completely forgot about it with no more support at all. But the 3DS, they want to keep alive for a little bit longer. They have said moving into 2018 and 2019, they're going to discontinue support. So we're probably seeing the last few waves of new 3DS games. And I think it's pretty cool that we're getting a new Luigi's Mansion remake. That would have been really great for the Switch. I was hoping we would get Luigi's Mansion 1 on the Virtual Console. That we didn't hear about any Virtual Console stuff, which was something else I felt we needed. That would have been really cool, but I get they wanted to give the 3DS players something, and Dark Moon, Luigi's Mansion 2, already did really well, already has a home on the 3DS, so it makes sense to put this game on the 3DS. Have them both on the same system. Would have been cool on Switch, but I get it. WarioWare Gold, 300 micro games to enjoy in this title. I like that. I like Wario games, and I'll probably grab this one. It would be cool to have a Wario game on the Switch, but in all due time, I'm sure. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. They recently released the remake of the first one on the 3DS, Mario and Luigi, in the same style. They've made a ton of these Mario and Luigi games now. They're really great. They're Mario RPGs that are a lot of fun. I love them, and I'm really happy to see a new one. I wasn't expecting it because we just got that remake, but again, I guess that makes sense. More on Detective Pikachu, which comes out pretty soon. I'm intrigued by that. I want to take a different kind of dive into the Pokemon universe, and this is definitely going to be that. So seeing more of that game was great. And that was all the 3DS stuff. It didn't last that long. I think it was under 5 minutes, and they went straight into the Switch. Again, I'm happy they're putting some extra effort into the 3DS before it's run its course, but the Switch is what we want right now. We saw more Kirby, which comes out next week. I was happy to see that. Again, it was really short. I'm going to pick it up, so I just built that little bit extra hype up for the game. Okami HD was the first big surprise. Didn't expect it, came out of nowhere. Pretty cool. I love the game. I'll happily pick it up and play it again on the Switch. It is a port. I know a lot of people hate ports. I'm happy for the ports. So at this point into the Direct, we saw some cool 3DS stuff, some more on Kirby, and Okami HD. So I was like hyped at this point. I was like, yeah, this is going to be really cool. Next, we had that sushi game. I really couldn't care too much for that game. This is where a lot of people started saying in the chat, this Direct sucks. I was still hopeful at this point. Not awful, it's just fun. We had Okami HD! And this is, it's like 5 minutes in, not even. Just calm your bridges. Next, we saw Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. I was really hoping the next No More Heroes game we got was going to be the third one. This game does look pretty cool. It's a mesh of Fury, it looks like, and No More Heroes. It's really weird. You can play it co-op. I'm excited to try it out because I love that universe, and I loved Fury. I love the way this game looks, how it's come together. It's not the No More Heroes game that I wanted, but again, third Switch game into this Direct, I was getting really hyped, thinking they were building up to something pretty cool. Then we saw more about the Dark Souls game. We found out there's going to be an early test demo that we can play online. That's pretty cool. We already knew about Dark Souls, though. The amiibo is actually pretty funny and a good idea. But I wasn't really like, yay, an amiibo, you know? There's so many as there is. So up until this point, I was still kind of, Okami HD is gonna be cool, but where's that online stuff? All right, you gotta give me about midway through here, I'm gonna hear some online stuff. No, instead they talked about that new coin system they have. When you buy a full price game, you get about $3 back in these coins for you to spend on the eShop. They touched on that really quick. That's fine, but I still think it's weird they're talking about stuff like that and not talking about the online service. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like we need answers on that. Then they spent 5 minutes of this 30-minute Direct talking about Mario Aces, which I was fine with because they did tell us that going into it. There was a little blurb at the bottom of the Direct note that said we're going to be focusing on Mario Aces essentially, which also told me going into it, maybe this isn't going to be as crazy as I thought. My expectations were lowered a little bit by that because it was like they were trying to gear us up and prepare for the fact that, hey, the aim of this Direct, the main focus of this Direct is going to be highlighting Mario Aces, so if you're expecting something crazy, you're probably not going to get it. They did a similar thing with the mini Direct. It was a mini Direct, don't expect anything crazy. And then the Labo Direct announcement that they did, before they announced it, they said they were announcing something that was for kids and kids at heart, which is again telling us, hey, don't expect a Metroid announcement, don't expect a Pokemon announcement. This is a whole new thing, and it's most likely going to be for kids. So the Mario Aces thing was them doing that again, and so they spent a lot of time on the game. That's fine. It's a new IP from them. I'm sure a lot of people are excited about it. For me, it's just tennis. There's some cool features that I like about it. If I do check it out, I can see the things I will enjoy, but at the same time, it is just tennis, and I've never really been into sports games, Mario or otherwise. Another port from the Wii U, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. This was a no-brainer. I actually had this one pegged for the next Wii U game that was gonna come over. Does definitely seem like they're trying to get that entire library onto the Switch, which makes perfect sense. Again, the Switch already has sold more than the Wii U. It just makes sense that you want these games to be played. The Wii U had some fantastic games. It is a no-brainer. Put them on the Switch, bulk up the library. People can actually play them now like they couldn't before, and you can play them portable. That makes complete sense. At this point, I'm just waiting to hear about Star Fox and Mario Maker and a bunch of others. Crash Bandicoot, I think, was the biggest surprise for me. That one completely caught me off guard. I don't know how I feel about it. I think trying to play that Crash Bandicoot, that new remastered, on the Switch portable with the Joy-Cons, or just with the Joy-Cons in general, is going to be a nightmare. I've been playing it with Kim recently on my big TV with a PlayStation 4 DualShock controller, and the controls are weird. I don't know, there's something about it that's just off. Everyone that has reviewed this game has talked about that. The controls feel a little weird, and that's trying to play it with a DualShock with some big toggles. Now you're talking about the Switch's little things. Maybe it'll be easier to play it that way, but my instant thought is it's going to be impossible. So you're going to want to get a Pro Controller for that one and play on your TV. I'm surprised it came to the Switch before it came to Xbox, because it is coming to Xbox, I'm pretty sure I heard. I don't know, for me, I think it's cool. A lot of people will obviously get this and enjoy it. I already have it on PlayStation. Little Nightmares, that looks cool. It didn't blow my pants off. It's a nice looking game, and it's definitely one of them games that I talk about all the time on this channel, that I love, that I enjoy. It fits right in with the eShop library, so yeah, that's cool. I'm not discrediting that one. It was just kind of like, yeah. South Park surprised me a lot. South Park, because it was completely out of the blue. That one was, again, that one and Crash was my two biggest surprises. This is something that Nintendo would never have done 5 to 10 years ago. They would never have put South Park, this game, on a Nintendo system. This is borderline Conker's Bad Fur Day levels of crazy. Definitely more expected and more welcomed now than it would have been 5, 10 years ago, but I still think it's funny where we've come from to where we are now with the Switch. Seems like no holds barred at this point. I haven't played that yet. I was kind of hoping they would announce a double pack, because I still haven't even played the first one. I know I suck. We had an announcement for Hyrule Warriors, really short. We get that on May 18th. Undertale coming to the Switch was a big one for a lot of people. I'm really happy about it. I'm definitely going to pick it up. I think it's a perfect addition to the Switch and definitely a nice little surprise. And then they spent quite a while on Splatoon DLC, like more time than Mario Aces. That Splatoon stuff felt like it was really dragging out, because we all knew we were right at the end and they kept talking about Splatoon, and that's when it started to hit us and the realization that we weren't hearing anything new. I like Splatoon, don't get me wrong. I feel like there was something else they could have put there. There was just something else they could have announced or talked about, but it is what it is. A lot of people were really excited for that Splatoon DLC. So up until this point, everything has been ports, DLC, or more information on games we already knew about, which is fine. But this is why it was a little disappointing, just because, and it's not because I feel like I need more or deserve more or expected more. I expected the unexpected, and apart from a couple of ports I didn't expect, I didn't get exactly what I meant by that, and that's fine. I can take that because I don't care. It is what it is. I know these games are coming already. I know Metroid's coming already. Show me now, show me later, it's whatever. What I care about personally is two things. One, the things I feel we need to talk about. The online service, I think we need to talk about. Virtual Console would be nice to know something, since it's been talked about since, again, before the Switch was even out. There's nothing I'm looking for in these directs that I want to go convince me to go buy it. I have a lot of games to play. I have a large backlog I can keep playing. I have games I haven't touched yet. There is stuff coming that I know that I want. There is stuff coming that I'm really excited for. I just don't have dates for it. I'm fine. I'm on board with this whole thing. What kind of disappoints me is there are people that are still sat on the fence, and we're going into a brand new year and they haven't told us anything that's like confirmed. There isn't any reason to pick up a Switch right now beyond what's already out. And there's a ton of things out, but you know there's people that you might be watching this right now with, I'm still not convinced, which I think is crazy, but anything would help that. And yes, we got a Smash announcement, which is awesome and was definitely that expect the unexpected moment I was looking for. I really feel like we needed something that was gonna push the Switch early this year, and we didn't quite get it. There's E3 coming in a couple months, but that's halfway through the year, and then you gotta start building hype halfway through the year leading up till Christmas. So I just feel like they've missed out on these first 2 quarters, 3 quarters of 2018 to really make an impact. I will say that Smash announcement gave me chills though. As soon as I saw those Squid Inklings for like a 3rd time, when they said we have one more thing and I saw Squid Inklings, I knew that one more thing was gonna be Smash, because there's no way they're showing more Splatoon stuff.
That's all for today's Nintendo Direct. Well, actually, we have one more announcement.
Oh, you scared me. Please have a twist. Please don't just be more Splatoon. Please shoot yourselves into Smash Brothers or something. Can Mario be behind you? Freaking knew it! And as soon as you see that Smash logo in her eye, there's definitely chills. I get chills every time I rewatch it. That was a cool little teaser trailer. And that trailer does tell me one thing about Smash as well. I really feel like it's going to be a port. I really feel like it's going to be the 3DS version and the Wii U version smashed together. The reason why I think that, I already thought that because that Wii U version of Smash is so good. Like, where do you go with it? The Switch isn't that much of a huge leap technologically for you to be able to remake a Smash game from the ground up and have it be completely different. If they tear that all down and they start again and build a new Smash game, I can guarantee you it's going to end up looking pretty much exactly the same. You can tweak some things about that game. You could add new characters, new maps, new story and stuff like that, but there's no reason to rebuild it from the ground up to have it looking pretty much exactly the same. That's just extra work. It's not necessary, but it doesn't matter either way. This is just my speculation. This is what I'm saying because it does seem to be a hot topic of, is it new? Is it a port? What I'm saying is, if it is a port, that's perfectly fine. I mean, Splatoon 2 is essentially a port of Splatoon 1 with extra things. That's how sequels usually work. It's only games like Smash Brothers that every year they seem to break it down and they start again. But the Switch is so similar to the Wii U in its style and what it can manage that breaking it down and starting again ain't gonna make much difference. There's no reason to, there's no point to. Just add in all the stuff that we recently got on the 3DS and the Wii U, as well as a ton new stuff. And even that, honestly, that is better because that way we can get so much new stuff with a fully fleshed out story mode, with a bunch of new characters, a bunch of new maps, because they have more time to work on it since they don't have to rebuild a game. That makes more sense to me, and you can still slap a 5 on that bad boy and have it look brand new and shiny. I'm excited for that, and I'm really surprised 2018. I would have told you, I would have sworn up and down the street that wasn't coming out this year because we hadn't heard anything about it. It's already March. What we have heard about is Metroid, Pokemon, things like that, and we didn't even have a date for that, and we're not even sure if it's coming out this year. So I really didn't expect to see Smash. So one final time, just to clarify, I'm not disappointed in the Direct. The Direct was fine. The Direct gave us some information on games that we already knew were coming, some release dates, and they threw a couple of slight curveballs at us with some ports we didn't expect. 2 or 3 ports that were really nice surprises. They focused on Mario a lot and Splatoon a lot, which is fine for Mario because it's a brand new game, and Splatoon, I mean, it's DLC, they wanted to push it, that's fine. I felt like it was a little bit much, but at least it led to that moment of, oh, more Splatoon? Oh wait, it's Smash Brothers. That was almost worth it. I feel like there is definitely stuff they are holding onto right now. They're keeping in secret and in wait that they could have talked about at this Direct, but they're saving it for E3 because they want to make a triumphant return to E3 and blow people away because the last few years have been kind of disappointing. But just, that's halfway through the year. I feel like it's a misstep to not have something early in the year just to sort of boost sales and boost that popularity around this time. I mean, I don't care about that. I have a Switch. I just want this thing to do as good as it can. I want it to have 3DS levels of success so we have a library comparable to the 3DS. That's why I think something else like a launch window for Pokemon would have made this Direct from good to great. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below what you think of the Direct and if my opinions on it are shared with you or if you're against them. Again, everyone has their own things, their own wants, their own needs, their own desires. You might have loved everything. There might have been some announcements, like you might be a huge Undertale fan, so for you this Direct was the best thing ever. Just remember that a lot of people sort of want and need and expect different things, and I don't think anyone should really expect anything. I just have expectations of things I feel from a business standpoint Nintendo should have covered, but it is what it is and they'll get to it eventually. Leave that comment down below, subscribe because you know I appreciate it, like this video. I'm still hyped, I'm still excited, we're still gonna hear some amazing things this year. Guys, get excited for Switch in 2018. We heard a little bit right now, would have been nice to get more, but trust me, more is coming. And I'm gonna leave on that note. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed the Direct.